Have you ever wondered what tax deductions are and how you can benefit from them? Well, in today's episode, I'm going to discuss what tax deductions are, how they function, and their pros and cons. I'm LaDarrius Sanders, and you're watching The Sanders Financial. So what's the big deal about tax write-offs? Why is it that business owners and healthy income earners seek after them? Yes, I did say healthy income earners because wealthy is relative. First, we need to define what a tax write-off is. And what's the difference between a tax deduction and a tax write-off? Absolutely nothing. When you define a tax write-off or a tax deduction, it's simply a qualifying expense that reduces your amount of taxable income. Can I repeat that? It's a qualifying expense that reduces your amount of taxable income. That is a tax deduction. That is also a write-off. Same thing. So then you ask, well, what's a tax credit? A tax credit is a little different than a deduction. A tax credit reduces the amount you owe, no matter your income bracket. The more tax deductions you have, the less taxes you pay. The more tax deductions you have, the less taxes you pay. How does a deduction function? Let me give you a scenario to paint a picture. Let's just say you have an annual income of $250,000. You are going to donate 10% of that money to a charitable organization, whether it be a church or some other nonprofit, as long as it's a 501c3 organization. I can talk to you about that on a later video. So we have $250,000 income that is taxable, and we're going to deduct $25,000 from that because that is 10% of this. Now you only have $225,000 taxable income after you donated that money to the charitable organization because you wrote off $25,000 from your income. So what does that mean? You only have to pay taxes on $225,000. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of tax deductions. One, whenever you engage in philanthropic activities, it's very fulfilling and rewarding knowing that you're making an impact on somebody else's life. That is a great benefit. Another good benefit will be you pay less money in taxes. Some of us would much rather regulate where our fundings are going instead of giving them to the government. It's true. Another pro to tax deductions could be the regulation of your income bracket. The more write-offs that you have, the lesser money you have to pay out in income taxes, which could lower your income bracket. You need to consult with a tax professional to tell you if that would be advantageous for you or not. Now let's talk about some of the cons to tax write-offs. Yes, there are cons to tax write-offs. Whenever you have lower stated income, you could run into issues when it comes to qualifying for things that require you to have a certain amount of income. For instance, if you own your own cleaning business and with that cleaning business you make $100,000 a year, but you wrote off $50,000 in deductions, well now it only shows that you've made $50,000 for that year. And if you're trying to qualify for a home purchase, it's highly likely that you're going to get denied, simply because your stated income is not enough to support the loan. You may show that you're grossing a high dollar amount of income, but if you're writing off so much on your taxes, it's going to show that you have a lower stated income, thus you will not qualify for the home loan. This is also true of credit cards. You may be turned down for credit cards as a result, mortgages that I've already covered, and maybe there's a special business loan that you really need to expand your business. If you're not stating all of your income because you're writing off so much, again, you will not qualify because you have to show enough income to support the loan. I had to turn down many loan applications through my many years in banking simply because people were writing off too much on their taxes and not reporting their stated income. This is also true if you're a server. If you're waiting tables and you're a server and you're not claiming a lot of your tips, same scenario. If you're making that $3 an hour, but you're really bringing in maybe $800 a night, if you're not stating that income, you're not able to use that whenever you want to get an apartment to show that you're making enough. Be careful when you're writing off. Consult with your tax advisor. When it comes to my personal tax filings, I leave it up to the professionals. I do not recommend using platforms like TurboTax, H&R Block, or anything else like that. I like to go with someone that I know, someone that I trust, someone who is a professional in the field that eats, sleep, breathe the tax code. Because at the end of the day, if the IRS ever knocked on my door, I want to make sure that I can have someone that can represent me, that is organized and keep tracks of everything that I've ever done tax related throughout my years. And I recommend a CPA named Thomas Daprato. Thomas Daprato has been a very efficient CPA for my family for nearly a decade. We've owned multiple businesses and he had no problem filing any of my taxes and in multiple states. If I ever needed a specific document, Thomas has been able to retrieve those for me on the spur of a moment. He's also been there for me that if I had any questions that I just wanted to ask him, if I thought of making a new purchase or investing in a new business or any type of write-off, Thomas was able to give me that professional advice that is in line with the code to ensure that I do not have any issues with the IRS. I will have his information below in the comment box as well if you didn't catch it on the screen. Wow, it looks like we covered a lot. So we've talked about what tax deductions are, how they function, as well as their pros and cons. Here's my call to action. If you like the content in this video and you want to see more, I will post more videos to go in more details related to taxes as we are in the fourth quarter approaching the end of the year. Smash that like button. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Sanders Financial, and share this with as many people as you possibly can. Also, if you would like to have some professional advice or looking for a new person to file your taxes and you're extremely serious about it, then please reach out to Thomas Daprato, mention The Sanders Financial, and he will take care of you. Again, mention The Sanders Financial when you contact Thomas Daprato, and he will take care of you. I'm LaDarrius Sanders. You have just watched The Sanders Financial, where we talk money matters because money matters. Thank you. God bless. Stay tuned for the next episode on taxes.